Hello, everyone. If you can let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, I would appreciate it. I'm still getting the hang of this. Let's see. I have my 24-hour sale. Well, it's an offer. It's not a sale. It's just adding a. Let me just get this quick here. Okay. Hey, David. Hello. I guess if you could let me know if you could hear me, I would appreciate it. I just to make sure because I know I went on one show on Laura Loomer and it really sucked. I couldn't get the sound. I had to take out my mic. If you could hear me, great. So yeah, I'm offering my Muhammad Cartoons Volume 1 and 2. If you order, Praetor, what's up? Michelle, hey, thanks, David, appreciate it. So I'm bringing a little closer. I guess if I can speak like this, I guess, right? But I'd rather not. Good evening, Mike. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that I have, it'll be ending in about an hour. It's my Muhammad Cartoons Volume 1 and 2. If you buy both of these, which is at the top of my store, I give you a Muhammad trading card. And here he is, he's scared shit. You know, the terrorist is being terrorized by Pigman. Hail, Art. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so I'm doing that. And if anyone here now, if you're interested, I still have a few copies left of Prop Piganda, which is the first print appearance of Pigman. And this is it. And if you get this now, I'll slip in a Pigman trading index card, an original drawing index card as well. So if you're interested, let me know. In the meantime, I just wanted to mention a few things. If anyone has any questions or... Okay. Prater says, audio sounds good, but it likes to pick up any noise from your desk just to let you know. Okay. Yeah, I imagine it does. I have this thing. I have the what do you call it? The cover, like for popping noises and this and that. But I guess it doesn't matter. That's just for my mouth. But I try not to make too many noises here. But for the, I guess, shifting the books. But if you can hear me, great. Thanks, guys. Hello, Lux. How's everyone doing tonight? So yeah, if anyone's interested in those, let me know. It ends in about an hour. The offer for Pigman, Muhammad Volume 1 and 2, my Muhammad Cartoons. It's probably over 200 cartoons there. And you get an original drawing of Muhammad by me. And if anyone here, while you're here, if you're interested, it's the first print appearance of Pigman, Propaganda, and you get an original drawing. And if you haven't seen this is it also has my first drawing of Muhammad in there as well. Here's one example. Dialogue. Pigman wants dialogue with the Islamic enemy. You know how our politicians always want dialogue? I remember hearing that post 9/11. He was like, okay, dialogue, and they're screaming, Allah, Allah, no, That guy is, that other jihadist right there, he's porked. He's porked. And I was doing this, I had a blog, the Infidel Pigman blog, 2000, I think I started 2006. And while I was studying Islam and studying jihad, I was just doodling out, drawing out images that I wanted to see in the future when I do the Pigman comic. So it wasn't quite finished in my head, but I had ideas. And while I was doing that, at least I was keeping the visuals alive as I was reading and learning and writing the story and having this quote-unquote Bible that I had for years. It was over 1,000 pages long. I figured, at least in the meantime, I could draw some stuff. So these are the type of things that I ended up drawing. A hero with the stomach to tell the truth and act on it. That's Frank Warner right there. He ends up being Pigman. He was an anti-jihad speaker, writer, activist, and then he ends up being Pigman. And this is also fight bigotry. You got to fight bigotry. And I quote Winston Churchill, I like pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals. It's funny. And pigs are also very smart, from what I gather. They're very smart. Okay. Art. Been wanting that one. Propaganda. Yeah, if you want that. Audio's good, but I hear every bass thump. Huh. Bass thump as in what? From me, my voice, or from, like, the table? I'm just hitting the table right now. I guess you can hear that. Huh. Salmon Andy's Lost Gym vlog. No, this is live. This is live. I don't know if that's a sincere question or some troll. I guess we'll find out, right? Here's another image. Pigman's chest symbol. And if you don't know, it's September 11th. September 11th. That's the Twin Towers. This other thing is can't bring gray to a black and white fight. So half the book is color, half of it is black and white. Yeah. Okay, good. I did do that. But okay, the table. Yeah, I'm gonna try not to bang it. But one thing also, you said something about the bass. Is it from the voice? Okay. I got to work out all these kinks and figure it out and get better at this. Okay. So yeah, guys, thanks, Amoral Fat. Appreciate it. I like it too. It was 2009. It's now 16 years old. It's hard to believe. It's 16 years old. Oof. It's a long time. Long time. But got all these early images of Pigman. Enter the rat cave. Instead of the bat cave, he goes to the enemy's lair. Thomas Lander says, "Rip Norm." I guess you mean Norm Macdonald. Yeah, he was great. Okay, Amoral Fast says he has really good speakers, picks up everything. Okay. Make comic books great again. Hey, hi Bosch, did you plan a Pigman campaign date yet at all? I was shooting for last month actually, and I kept hearing from people who know their stuff that it's not a great time to launch. I'm even hearing people now say January is not a great time to launch. A part of me is like, what am I going to do here? I mean, I want to give myself every chance I can to succeed right out of the gate. So I don't want to, hurt it. As far as right now, it'll be the end of January, but I'm going to talk to some of the kings and find out, what they would recommend, because I know some people are launching some, like Ethan launched the black and white version of Wreck Planet, covers at least. That's a small campaign, it's a week old, so it won't take too long. That's okay, but a full-blown campaign, I don't know. I'm thinking it'll end of the month, but I'm going to, again, check in with some of the guys, and as I develop my campaign on Fund My Comic, I'm looking to do certain things. I have 3 different covers. Could be a 4th, but I think 3 right now. It'll be end of the month, February, but let's just say it's on its way. I'm working on something else as well, but this will be, again, it'll be issue 1 and 2 of my original Pigman comic with added moments, scenes, expanded moments, edited, made better. I guess the term would be remastered. Different covers. I might even re-letter. I hand-lettered the first 2 issues of a Pigman, which is fine. I mean, they're clear. No one ever complained about it. Maybe I want to, make them digital, or maybe I will do that when it's all said and done. Maybe after the 6th issue comes out. It's likely going to be 6 issues, over a few hundred pages, probably 300 pages total. 50 to 60 pages each one. It's again, I don't want to be too presumptuous to ask people for covers. I know that John, on his own, said that he'd like to draw Pigman. He just wants to try it out. Just wants to take a shot at it. We left it off as that. I saw someone link me to the video of him talking about it. I posted it online, and he reposted it with exclamation mark. So, he said something like on his show, he goes, "I don't even know Bosch would like me to do it." It's like, please. I mean, I love seeing Pigman drawn by different artists. I get a kick out of it. It's everyone, they always do it in their own way, individualistically, which is awesome. It's he's a very unique character. He's mine, but I love seeing people see what they see and still make it their own. They can't help it. If they're true to themselves, they're going to make an original looking Pigman, which is awesome. So yeah, I'll see. I will see. We shall see. There's also this. This is also in terms of the women in Islam, right? There's one here, ladies last. This is from Propaganda. If you want it, you can. Again, if you order this at my store, I will pop this in, an original Pigman index card sketch. Well, it's more than a sketch. It's a full ink drawing. Ladies last, only in Allah land, and that's Pig Woman, and she'll pop up in some context. You'll see the context. It's not. Anyway, then there's something else here. A world of damsels in distress, the Islamic world, and she's crying blood. And then there's something else here in terms of the female abuse, comeuppance. Here's another image that I did, but the Quran says I can beat her. Shut up. And then I have the passage from the Quran where it says that men can beat their women. And then Pigman takes a Quran, a hardcover Quran, and kills a jihadist with it. Kill by the book, die by the book. And Pigman says, and I thought the Quran had no value, you know? It's fun. So yeah, if anyone wants to get this, first one to get this gets an original Pigman drawing along with it. It's at my store, boschfawson.com. Check it out. You got to scroll down a bit. And then I have the other ones as well. I have the, it'll be another 40 minutes when it ends, the sale for My Muhammad Cartoons, Volume 1 and 2. If you get both of those, you get an original Muhammad drawing by me. Yeah, Immoral Fat 40 ounce says John Millen and all of them know. Yeah, they do know. They run a lot of campaigns. They fulfilled a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit them up for some kind of information. I'm gonna try to email Ethan and maybe get into the chat and see what they say. And also ask them to look over my campaign and anything they would suggest, good or bad. Say don't do this or do this. I'll definitely defer to them because again, I want this to be a success right out of the gate. I need it to be a good success to go on. I want to do, issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 within the next few years, and then ultimately collect them all. Mike TV Dub says, "Damn, that's intense." I'm assuming you mean the one where he's beating the guy who just beat the woman. Make comic books great again. That page looks millennial influence. I mean, if there was no Dark Knight Returns, I doubt Pigman would be the way he is. I doubt he would even look the way he does, even though it's not obvious on a aesthetic level. I mean, Pigman, he has a big gut, different colors. He has a black suit with crimson highlights. He has the rust color, pigskin leather mask and stuff. But it's there. I don't think I'm hiding my influence. Art says John would be down to do a cover. I'm grabbing propaganda. Shame Table Phone sold out. It did, but let me. I have the one copy. It's a little damaged. I have 2 older copies of my first print of Table Phone 21 years ago. Hard to believe, 20 years ago, and they're slightly imperfect. If you're interested, let me know. Message me, and we'll work out something. It'll be a little cheaper than what it was. I did do a 2018 another print and updated, not too much different. I did a little tweak on the cover with the eyes of Will. I tweaked a little inside, but not too much. A few things here and there that I thought I could improve. But with the Pigman thing, I'm going to try to really. Thanks, David. I just want to see something. It looks like someone got something here. Didn't pop up yet, but we'll check it out. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so if you want to do that, and again, I do have Art. I think Art's gonna get this for now, but it's Propaganda. Again, it's Propaganda, and it was the work that I was doing while I was studying Islam as if my life depended on it. and I got a chance to show blog visitors what my Pigman comic might be looking like. Here's one. Here's an extreme one, you know. This is, people say, what the hell? You know, someone, 72 virgins in paradise? He goes, ha, 72 rapists in hell. Yeah, that's extreme, but that's what these guys deserve. You know, for murdering innocents, you get these paradise angels? No. Huh, okay. Yeah, this big worm is gone. Yeah, a guy just said that he just found out that his wife cheated on him with his black friend. So, you know, free speech is fine. He's not here to do anything here except be stupid. So, and for a guy who writes that, I hope that did happen. Actually, I hope that did, dude. Big worm. Maybe you're a little worm. That's why she cheated on you. But anyway, yeah, go elsewhere. You know, go to some other some other streams. Yeah, another guy's gone. Yeah, I don't tolerate racism. I just don't. You guys are very, very stupid, and you're out. You guys are banned. And when I press ban here, I hope it goes across X and YouTube. I hope it does, because it's just useless. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste my time on your low life. So I'm just gonna knock you out, and that's it. So yeah, I got another. I'm sorry, 1 second. I just want to see what came through here. Nothing's coming up yet. It looks like someone got something, but okay. Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so David got the propaganda with the Pigman drawing, but art, I could do another one if you're interested. Just get propaganda, remind me, and I'll do that as well. Because while I'm on here, I'll just offer that. For anyone else who buys propaganda, you can buy that at my store, boschfalls.com, and I will draw an original Pigman drawing and send it in. But for now, David has the one that I just showed you. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. And again, the offer that is going on right now, besides that one that I just did, you know, impromptu on here, is okay. Ugh, you guys. This is what happens, I guess, right? When you get some kind of notoriety, these rats come on. Yeah, these guys are gone. I'm getting a lot of rats on here. That's good. Okay. Out. My sketchbook 340. Hello. Yeah, these guys are saying that you like car bombs and stuff. You practice jihad. You couldn't knock no one. You're a coward. Yeah. I mean, I think about that. That's what these guys have to say to someone here. Okay, Allah, no, dummy. This Kadim has been redeemed, right? It's Allah Akbar MF. No, it's Allahu Akbar. It's not Allah Akbar, you dummy. You terrorist traitor. Terrorist traitor, huh? Don't act smart with me. Huh. Okay. I have to ban, I banned 5 guys so far. Interesting. Yeah, the SJW Sprigs are strong in the chat. Time for some more banning. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have time for this. No one does. Keep banned, it will get worse. Okay, you're banned too. I'll send every day. Yeah, go for it. I'll ban you guys every day. You're useless. You're rats. Muslims and leftists. Yeah, the guy just wrote this derogatory term for blacks, thinking that he could just spell it out and it'll get worse. You guys are gone. Another one, absolutely gone. Anyway, if anyone wants to counter these rats by having some good stuff here, let me know. Hey, Wingus Dingus, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's been a while. I every few days, I think I try to come in. Okay. All right, guys. If anyone else has some good stuff to knock off these rats, I'm just doing it myself for now. I mean, Absolute rats. But you know what? It's pretty good because these rats are. Hey, pork hunt. These rats are coming on here. I mean, I guess that has its own value, right? Even when the rats come on, there's something going on. They believe that. That's funny. Anyway, how's it going, guys? So yeah, I got about half hour left. Yes, thank you, David. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. These guys are really oof. Huh. Check it out. This guy calls. Hold on a second. What is this? Anyway. Oof. Yeah, the rats are really coming on here today. Interesting. I had like one or two last time, but these guys are just coming on strong. Yeah, that's right. I've never had this before, actually, to this extent. I had one rat not that while ago, but these rats are just coming on. I guess, they got a lot going on, right? Yeah. I mean, think about that. Would you ever waste your time on someone that you despise? Ahoy, RBM. And, all right, guys. So, yeah, any questions, any comments? I just want to mention something quick. You know this Andrew Tate? These might be the rats, because I posted some of my cartoons of Andrew Tate today, so these rats might be one of the Andrew Tate's hoes. Yeah, another one out. Yeah, I am infamous. I've been called the notorious Boss Fawson. I'll take that. Yeah, these rats are really out tonight. Yep. Wow. Yeah. It's amazing. And again, I'm for free speech. I'm just not for having a chat here where people are coming on here just to absolute shit post. Who has time for that? I don't. You guys don't. Poor cunt says, I have a friend on X that has them after her constantly, and it's like bloodsport watching her crush them. Yeah. Yes, this guy, he's a Tate tard. Yeah, of course you are. So this is one of the Tate hoes. One of the Tate hoes, and he wants to get me deported for committing terrorism. It's like, I guess my art really, really is effective if you think it's terrorism. Okay. Tater tots, yeah, that's very good. I like that. David Stark says, I'm not sure who said it, but I remember the quote, my only regret is that my enemies are such insignificant men. There's that. But then again, it tells you something about, if you value yourself, if you value your life, if you're doing good work, I think your enemies will be scum. I think they will be. If they're respectable enemies, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. If they're too respectful, that means you're on the wrong side. In indie comics, infamy is a good thing, yeah. You got 34 viewers, just be happy with it. Yeah, I mean, live viewers, sure. Ends up being a little more, but Tate is just a gross freak. I don't care when. Absolutely, same here. He's a piece of shit. Pigman will be launching. Will that be a redo of the original? Yeah, it'll be a relaunch, I guess is what I'm using right now, a relaunch. It'll be issue 1 will be issue 1 and 2 of the old Pigman comic of the Infidel featuring Pigman. Now it'll just be called Pigman. I was going to call it Pigman Special Edition, but it's not. It's a first comic book that would be called just plain Pigman, and it'll be issue 1 and 2 with added moments, added scenes, added elements in there that will just make it better, just flat out better. I'm going to expand certain scenes. I got some images in mind. I'm like, okay, I think I could take that scene and just expand it a little more, visually make it a little more striking. Add some in-betweeners, like one scene happens here, another one here. I'm going to have one connecting scene that I think visually will be an improvement. Wingus Stinger says, wow, being masculine is good. I never thought about it that way. How I found Andrew Tate is very smart. Right. She calls Tate's a hose, tater tots. I love it. Tater tots are even more misled than fanatical than ripitards. Yes, they are. Burger Planet over Andrew Tate. Tate is a spy plan. His papa was an intelligence agent. Burger Planet says, Andrew Tate don't have a van. Art Hitter says, should I order propaganda off your site or just pay you on PayPal or something for that Table for one together. I want an index card, index art card. Okay, you want the index card of Pigman, right? You order propaganda, and I will do that. But if you could remind me, Art, in a message, and Table for One, if you want, I could send you a link to donate. I think just order, regardless, but order propaganda, and then I'll give you Table for One for cheaper than what it is. I was selling it for 20. I'll give you for 12 or 13 bucks. It's not as good, and it's an older copy. You know, it's the original from 2004. Well, not the original. That was a second print, and I had a third print in 2018. I've had there were a few thousand copies out there, which is great. I remember at the time I was in Mocha in New York City, and I told them that I sold about 2,000, and they were like, "What the?" They were actually shocked, and I was like, "That's a lot." I said, "That's nothing. I wanted to sell a lot more." They thought that's a big deal. I'm like, I guess right out of the gate, the first book, I don't know. I had a full page ad in previews in Diamond. I got the endorsement of a number of people, Dennis Kitchen, Alex Toth, and I was nominated for Russ Manning Most Promising Newcomer Award and the Eisner Award. So I guess those things catapulted it. Hill, M Sandwich. Molly Doran, diamond in the back. I don't know what you mean, but my sketchbook 340 says, Egg says, have you ever been to Romania? No, I have not. Is this regarding Tate? Are you a Tate ho? Or are you just a normal person just asking questions? We'll see. What do you call Andrew Tate in a Romanian prison? In cell. It's funny. I called him Andrew 8. If you remember the pictures when he came out of the prison, he was all fat. Andrew 8. He's a piece of shit. And let me just mention something that I posted this. I will read it to you right now, and I'll show you a little of it. I don't know yet how to do the screen share. Sorry. I don't know yet. I've actually been trying to look. It's a little difficult. I gotta be honest. It's like, what the hell? It should be a lot more easier for them to. Good on you, Molly Doran. I don't know. I'm not sure, Molly. I'm not sure if you're a friend or foe, but if you could elaborate. I just want to show you what I drew of Andrew Tate. Because a few years ago, he was. He's such a piece of shit. He's a pimp. Literally a pimp. That's what he is. So, this is a drawing of him. It's a drawing of Andrew Tate that I did. And he has a t-shirt that says Muhammad is gay, and Muhammad saying, I'm gay. And the reason why I did that was because Andrew Tate, he said this a few years ago before he I think you're out of here, Molly. I don't know what you're up to. Just nonsense. Before Tate bent over for Allah and for Islam, he said this. He goes, I can walk through London with a t-shirt saying Jesus is gay and nothing will happen to me. If I did the same thing with the Islamic prophet, I'd be dead before I got out to the end of the street. Now, keep in mind, he thinks that's a cool thing. And then I added Andrew Tate, who instead of putting his theory to the test, as in my cartoon, he converted to Islam, a religion that he himself believes is made up of savages who'd murder people over a goddamn t-shirt, making himself Bottom G. Bottom G. So again, that's Andrew Tate. It's not that clear. You can see it on my X. It's Andrew Tate with a t-shirt that says Muhammad is gay, and Muhammad saying, I'm gay. So the idea is that this idiot, he converted to Islam, so he... Yeah, you're out, Molly. You're too stupid to post here. Absolute nonsense. This is the first time, my first stream that I've had this. My first stream that I had this. So let me go back up and see what's going on here. Let's see. Porkon says Andrew Tate was arrested in Romania after a pizza box showed he was in the country. Police arrested him within 30 minutes, as any longer would mean they had to give him a free garlic bread, I guess. Yeah, he also had video. I mean, talk about, they say the snitches, right? Snitches, if you snitch, you're a bitch, whatever, all that stuff. He's a self-snitcher. He's on video saying how he beats women, how he pimps them out, how he's a pimp. He beats women. He talks about this. It's on record. People have the videos. They're out there. Check it out. Apostate Prophet. Check out his X, and check out his YouTube, where he has everything locked down. And then also the hack, the Tucker wannabe, and Tucker sucks himself, but he's a Tucker wannabe, which is even worse than Tucker. Benny Johnson. First of all, Benny. He's a grown man. Call himself Benny. Call yourself Ben. What the hell? Ben Johnson. Why Benny Johnson? But anyway, he has Tate on, and he thinks it's a great thing. And then I gotta say this also. I don't talk about my private stuff. You know that. But this guy shares pictures of his little girls right after his interview with Andrew, Tate and stuff. And it's something obscene about that. It's like, would you let Andrew Tate, the guy that you adore enough to have on your show, would you let him babysit your little girls? I mean, would you? These guys, some of the guys on the right are they're unmanly. To believe that he represents manhood somehow, it's disgusting. Yeah. You got some real idiots here. Yeah, Cucker Tarleson. My sketchbook 34 says, yeah, Cucker Tarleson. I called him Cucker also after he got real stupid after October 7th, where he was on a show. He was asked about it, and instead of saying, yeah, it's horrific, because not just for the fact that Jews and Israelis and they were slaughtered, but there were Americans there too. And he's Mr. America, right? America first. He goes, well, I'm America first. He goes, I found it very strange how emotional Americans got. It's like, first of all, scumbag, these are human beings who were slaughtered, innocent people. Don't you have any kind of conscience? Apparently not. And ever since then, he has had guests on who hate Israel only. He's not had Robert Spencer on, Daniel Greenfield, anyone who could talk some sense in him. He hasn't had any of them on. He's had generals who hate Israel, individuals who hate Israel. He had that piece of shit, his historian, who no one knows the name of, by the way. No one knows him. He tried to make him famous, by the way. The world's greatest historian, most famous? No, Tucker. You tried to make him famous, and it bombed. You bombed. You sucked. So, fucker Carlson exposed himself, and that whore also, Candace Owens. She's another Tate ho. She's another Tate ho. So yeah, this is very, very strange, this post 10/7 world, how people couldn't wait to come out as Jew haters. They just couldn't wait for it. It was amazing. It was like, holy shit, where the hell did this come from? And also, what timing, right? The worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, the worst single day attack on Jews since the Holocaust, right? Single day attack, 100%. Over 1,000 people were slaughtered. And the numbers kept going down. It was 1,400, now it says 1,900. It was 1,400, okay? Enough. But anyway, what a day to come out as a Jew hater. To make no bones about it. It's like, what? You guys just, innocent people were slaughtered. So yeah, guys, I'll be getting off the air soon, but in about 18 minutes. I am closing this offer out. It's my Muhammad Cartoons Volume 1 and Volume 2. If you get both of these, it's at the top of my store. If you get both of these, I add an original drawing of Muhammad. Someone already has this one, but I'll make a new one if you're interested. So that's another 18 minutes. I got 18 minutes left. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chiming in. Make Comics Great Again asks, how was the experience getting interviewed by Laura Loomer? It was cool. It was, Laura and me have, we spoke a few years ago, 2001. Haven't spoken in a while, and out of nowhere, she contacted me about the Charlie Hebdo 10-year anniversary, and she wanted me on. I said, absolutely. And she's very intense. She's very, people said, hey, let him talk. Look, I love it. She's very passionate, and she knows her stuff. She knows her stuff, which is awesome. She's done her homework on this, so it was good. It was good, and it was, I think it was about 40 minutes. I put the interview on my channel, on my YouTube channel. Check it out, guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. I want to grow my channel. I want to get it prepped because I'm going to do a lot of campaigning for my Pigman campaign. I'm going to do the bulk of it on my own. And then if some of the Kings want to have me on, please. I mean, I would be more than happy. But I want to do it a lot on my own. I want to build as I go, sell my comic, and give people good reasons to consider getting it, because it's something that I will say this: my comic, Pigman is nothing like it out there, nothing. When I say that, it's not an exaggeration. There's no other comic out there like it. It has its influences. Dark Never Turns, absolutely, it's there, no doubt about it. It's there. But in terms of what's being out there today, taking on this ideology, no, not in the way that I do, not in the direct way that I do. Travis Parrick says, L hear through the grapevine that Muslims worship Baal. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a sincere question or just one of the trolls in here, but we'll see. David says, I lost a friend, quote unquote, over his overt Jew hatred. He went totally rational. A number of these people did. And I remember after that also, I think people were calling me a sellout. It's like, a sellout to what? I've always supported, Israel against its savage enemies, always. And it's a civilized country, and it's savages. You always side with the civilized country. Ayn Rand said that, 1979, 80? It's a very common sense thing to do. You side with the civilized against its savage enemies. Doesn't matter what the enemies say about themselves and what the situation is. Look at reality. Look at reality. Look what happened. There was a ceasefire in place that Hamas shattered, and then what happens? As soon as Israel retaliates, they want a ceasefire again. No, their ceasefires are them trying to plan new attacks. So don't wipe us out yet because we want to stay alive to wipe you out again in another time. And they were threatening, while they were doing that, they were threatening 10 sevens. 10. So Israel has done whatever it has to do. I always wanted to do more because Hamas shouldn't exist at all now. And they are hurting. I mean, their leader, a number of the leaders, Hezbollah's, like a dozen of their leaders. Every time they got a new leader, they kept getting killed, which was awesome. So they keep filling in with new leaders. It's comical. Let's see. Okay, my sketchbook 340 says, because they invaded only to kill people because they hate them for something they can't change. It was a hate crime, act of war. Normal people don't tolerate hate. Yeah, it was I don't believe in that hate crime, hate language, hate speech. I don't. But it was definitely an act of war and an act of faith as well. We can't forget that. And especially people of faith, they have a difficulty coming to terms with the fact that Islam is religion, that those guys who flew planes into 9/11 believed that they were flying into paradise. They didn't do that for political reasons, for militant reasons, for allegedly deviant reasons where political Islam. No, they did it for Islam. They did it for faith. They did it to get those 72 virgins. That's why they did it. It was as much an act of faith as it is an act of war. And I will fight always religionists who come to me and tell me otherwise. I just don't like that. It's just not true, first of all. And it also, when I'm told, Islam is not a religion, very angrily, I wrote a whole article about it, and I have to fight back against that. And the reason why is they want to believe that no religion can be evil. Of course it can. Of course it can. Any philosophy, any religion can be evil. Any. And Islam just happens to be the worst. That's where I'm at. I reject all religion. After I left Islam, I've left everything. But I know that Islam's the one that we cannot live with. We cannot coexist with. Why? Because those it takes seriously. It's not any kind of bias against it. It's their fault. They're the ones who've alienated themselves and their religion from us. Porkin says Greta Thunberg being a Jew hater was a surprise. Yeah, until I remember she was Swedish. Yeah, there is that. A lot of Swedes are fucked up, and I have family there as well, and they're Muslim family, And I think locally they call them blackheads because a lot of my cousins have dark hair, black hair. Yeah. RBM Entertainment says, what was the gay craze like 2 years ago where libs were saying they read the Quran? Am I the only one who remembers? Uh, I don't remember that actually. Because I know they didn't. Whether they said they did, I know they didn't. By what they said, they can't defend it if they did. You can't defend Islam in the Quran if you read the Quran. You can't. I mean, Muslims are going to lie about it, but you can't if you're at all honest. Porkun says to David, he goes, "It's amazing how I've had friends change when I've ended up letting them know my parents were crypto Jews. Holy shit." David says, "Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. I wish you all the best and good success in the new year. You're one of the bravest men I know. Keep up the great work." You're very, very kind, David. Thank you so much. And thank you for getting my books. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will ship them out. I will pack them up and then just drop them off at the post office. Even tomorrow, since the post office closed, I could drop it off because they have the entrance where I can just drop them off in the to get them to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much, David. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Porkhunt says there will never be peace in quote unquote Palestine. I call it always quote unquote Palestine because there is no Palestine. There is no country called Palestine. Nothing. It's a territory. It's a terror. There was actually a comic strip that I was going to do that Daniel Greenfield was going to write and I was going to draw called Terrorstein. And about the Hamas and what was it called? Islamic Jihad, the Palestinian Authority. I think they have a number of these terrorist groups in there. It's like a whole gang of them. Oh yeah. 1 second. Pork Hunt says, so thanks again, David. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. There will never be peace in Palestine while they put their Jew hatred before their love of their children. Golda Meir said it 50 years ago, and it's 100% true. They just can't. And if you think about it, the reason why they can't is because it's soaked into the religion. It's part of it's Jew hatred is, again, they hate all infidels, all non-Muslims, yes. The special hatred for the Jews. The special hatred, and it's obvious. M. Sandwich says, "Have you ever checked out Jose Ladron's art?" Yes, I liked it very much. He did Cable for a little while, if I remember correctly. If you could confirm that, I believe he drew Cable. I liked it. It was very, very cool. And then he did what was it? Hippopotamus type character. Really bold, blocky, Mobius type, Jack Kirby influenced. Interesting stuff. Porkun says, M. Sandwich, beautiful. My favorite of his work is Cable -1. Okay, so it was Cable, yeah. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Jose Ladron. Really good stuff. I gotta say, I don't remember his name too much. I don't remember his art, but I know I got copies. I might have some copies in my old box, maybe. Good stuff. Porkun says to RBM Entertainment, "I remember and fell off my chair laughing when I first heard it." What was that in reference to? Okay, when liberals, leftists were saying that they read the Quran. Huh. Yeah, so Jose Ladron's good. I remember I liked it. I also liked, what was his name? He did Cable as well. He did a graphic novel of the Human Target. He did a series with the Human Target. What's his name? It's amazing. I forget these names, but good stuff. RBM Entertainment says, I was like, there's no way anyone is reading that boring ass shit. Yeah. Okay. He's referring to the Quran. The Quran is mind-numbingly boring. Whatever else it is mind-numbingly boring. You can't sit there and read it and like enjoy it or in any capacity. They call it poetry. Give me a goddamn break. It's really difficult to actually take in. And there were a number of times because I red marked it throughout the entire, two reads. And there are a number of times where I literally fell asleep and I made note of it, where my head bobs. I'm like, whoa. And I made note of it. Zzz. It was particularly boring, the passages. But it was necessary for me to do, to understand the characters in my book, to understand, from the twin brothers, the Salam to Super Jihad. I had to know where Killian came from and where the other guys are going. I had to know and what I'm fighting. So again, as being raised Muslim, we never read the Quran. We had a Quran on the shelf. It was in Arabic. We couldn't read that. Flady, hey, how's it going, Flady? Hey, glad you're here. I remember Travis. It was clear they only read a few Google passages. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember actually leftists coming out there and saying that they read the Quran. I'm actually surprised. The ones who did say that they did, though, to me, I know they didn't by what they said. When they said there are no passages of violence in there, so that's a lie. It's a complete lie. Kill the infidels where you find them, cut off their fingertips, go slit their throats, kill and be killed. And it all happens to be in this one passage called the verse of the sword, which is basically the second to last or the last chapter in the Quran, the surah. And every opening of the Quran has from the beneficent, the benevolent Allah, right? That was the one chapter that didn't have that opening, preamble. It didn't have that. So it was the verse of the sword. Basically, the final word from the Quran to everyone is war for all time until you submit or we'll kill you. That's the final word. So, okay. Wingus Dingus says, I'm curious what you think of the Crusades. Obviously, you're not a Christian or pro-Christian or anything, but I can't imagine you dislike the Crusades, at least not the first one. That's the thing. The Crusades, from my understanding, is that the Pope at that time, the Muslims sacked Jerusalem. And they were like, okay, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? What can we do here? So they got an army ready, Christian soldiers, and they pushed back against the Muslims, got them out of Jerusalem, right? And unfortunately, they started going after non-devout Christians, Christian infidels, Christian heretics, Jews. They started going a little too far, a little too bloody, got out of hand. Once you start a religious war, it's tough to pull back, even if your principles tell you, even if it's against what Jesus taught. But however bad they were, however bad they ended up being, it lasted about 200 years. The jihads have been on for 1,400 years. There's no stoppage. They were, back and forth a little. Sometimes it gets more intense. There's a revival every so often, but it is there for every Muslim to take hold of it, to actually act on it. The Crusades were a very limited window where they wanted to get the Muslims out of Jerusalem. They wanted to get them after they sacked Jerusalem, but then it spilled over and it got bloody and disgusting. And they started going after everyone who wasn't them, atheists, Jews, Christians who they didn't believe were Christian enough, and so on. But it petered out in about 200 years, and that's a long time. But historically speaking, anyone who brings up the Crusades and try to relate them to the jihads, please, man, that's a terrible thing. Yes, this is 10 times worse. So don't, Holo Crow, you're dragging them all. Don't know. You might be one of the rats who aren't here. If I'm unsure, I won't ban you outright. But if you're an asshole who's not going to add anything, you're out. If you're here to shitpost, you're out. I'm just telling you. I don't mind questions. I don't mind challenging questions that are semi-honest, semi-sincere, even though a lot of you just don't do that. Hip Flask. Is that the comic that Jose Ladrone? That sounds right. Hippopotamus Flask, I guess that's the idea. Hip Flask. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Very unique. Kirby-esque Mobius. It's like a Kirby and Mobius had a baby. That's how Jose Ladrone came off. Porcon Palestinians need to be relocated to Jordan. Yeah, they are Jordanians. A lot of them are, but Jordan doesn't want them. Fritzy Schnitzel. Hey Bosch, anyone know what's going on with Peter David? I saw a headline that he is having financial problems. I heard that as well, but I don't know more than that. I know that he wrote a Spider-Man comic with Mr. Fix-It not that long ago. He wrote a Spider-Man comic with Mr. Fix-It. I got the first issue. I liked the art. The second issue with different artists. So I was like, nah. It already lost interest at that point. I was like, I don't. By the second issue, you have a different artist? Come on. Or the art was really bad compared to the first one. I don't know. The first one was okay. The story was fun. It was fun, like his old Hulk comics. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the situation is. I have truly, truly been out of touch with the mainstream comic book news world, if there is any. Bleeding Cool might be the only one. I used to read Newsrama, Comic Book Resources, all those. Long gone. I haven't read those in years. I think I saw some stuff. It was so bad. I was like, I'm out. There's nothing here. I just check out some of the other non-leftist news, comic book news places. That's about it. And YouTube channels. That's how I get my comic book news, really. Unless there's a press release for something. So I don't know if Fritzy Schnitzel. I just don't. If so, it's unfortunate. Whatever, he might be going through. But I know he did write that one. It could have been a year or two ago, I think. And if that helped him, I hope it did. Porkun says Muslims will hate Israel forever as they can't cope with their dhimmis being in charge. Yeah, they can. They will. They always will. And Sandwich says his art on the Inhumans is great. I think he did Inhumans too, didn't he? Huh. Good stuff. Holo Crow, all the red marks, LOL. Yeah, it's a second vague comment. You're out if you make one more clearer. I'm just warning you, one stupid comment, you're out, but so far 2 worthless comments, but vaguely stupid, but that's about it. Flady one, it was big on TikTok. Is that right? That's that they read the Quran thing? That's funny. Okay, guys. Basically, I got a minute left here. If anyone wants it, last chance. It's 24 hours. Sale is over now. You get Muhammad. If you order Muhammad Cartoons Volume 1, Muhammad Cartoons Volume 2, it's about 200 Muhammad Cartoons, both in both of them. And you will get an original drawing of Muhammad by me. You can do that now at the top of my store. I'm gonna knock it out of my store in 2 minutes. So if you want it, get it now. Order it. It's something you'll find it nowhere else. I got about maybe 10, 15 copies each, I believe, at this point. And there's 40 exclusive Muhammad Cartoons, new ones, in this book alone that were nowhere else. A lot of these were basically I drew these over the years. I drew a lot of these for people. I offered a lot of index card drawings. The index card drawings are getting a lot more complicated now, which I like. I'm making them a lot different. Here's a funny one. It's Muhammad dropping some fat beats, yo. He's got Two Live Crew, NWA, and I made his hands particularly small. He's just, wrapping that shit up, yo. I got Muhammad as a Sopranos characters in here. I have him. Here's one example. It's a movie poster. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. It's the good and the ugly. That's it. Sorry. Excuse me. The bad, and the ugly. That's funny. Paulie from The Sopranos. Rob De Niro from Cape Fear. Muhammad as Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera. Yul Brynner. Fun stuff. Okay. Poor cunt says to Fritzy Schnitzel says pads. Okay. Peter David's on dialysis. Really, he's run out of money for treatment costs, so probably going to have to sell his house. Whoa. Okay. Not good. Not good at all. I enjoyed his writing. I mean, like most people, I think I discovered him. He was writing Spectacular Spider-Man. He wrote a Christmas issue or two, and then he wrote The Death of Jean DeWolf, which was really good. I really liked that. Rich Buckler kicked ass on that. He drew a really good Spider-Man with a black costume. And Jean DeWolf, she was a really good character. She was in there. Roger Stern creator, I believe Roger Stern creator, and it was very effective. Very effective. The Sin Eater, I think the Sin Eater, that was the name of the villain there. And in there, Daredevil comes in and they figure out each other. Anyway, check it out. It's worth reading. It was really a strong story. And then he was adding a lot of humor to his comics. In the Spider-Man, adding a lot of humor. Supergirl, I think, also with Gary Frank, the very clean-looking Gary Frank, prior to him just taking off and becoming this great artist. He was good look. He was always good. Hulk was a little too slick, a little too clean-looking, a little too pretty. Supergirl, the same. And then, look at his art now in Doomsday Clock. I don't know what the story, pretty much of a mess, but that art was killer. I mean, he's a great artist. Gary Frank. Travis Parrick says Peter David is always having financial problems. Huh. Is that so, Travis? Interesting. He was a mainstream writer for years, editor, and then became. He worked in some capacity, editor, I believe, in some other financial aspects, something like that, on Marvel, and then started writing stuff. And he had his moments. He definitely did. And then he had that debate with Todd McFarlane, which they, I believe, republished or transcribed in the Comics Journal. I believe they did. Porkin says that's what happens when your health insurance won't cover pre-existing conditions. Yeah. Porkin says Ladrone hasn't done comics for years. Wonder what he's making a living on. I haven't heard his name for years, but he was good from what I remember. Make comic books great again. Absolute Batman #4 already has a fill-in artist. Kirby would laugh. Oh man, that's a thing. Come on, guys. And also, aren't they late? Weren't they late going in? Late for between issues 1 and 2? Come on, guys. Kirby would laugh. I mean, Kirby, and it's funny you say that because John Romita Sr. Let me show you quick, guys. Okay, guys. So last chance for these. I'm gonna go right now, and I'm gonna take it off the top of the store. You get volume 1 and 2. You get an original Muhammad drawing by me. I'm gonna take it off now. But while I'm doing that, you guys can just go try to get it before. I just got to keep that number. 24 hours is 24 hours. So let me just take care of that quick, and then I will read all your comments. And I just want to show you something quick regarding a comment that someone just made about Kirby. About Kirby would laugh, and he would laugh at that. The great Jack Kirby, a workhorse. I mean, him, John Buscema, 4 or 5 pages a day. Now I can rough out. I roughed out 7 pages recently for something, 4 pages, but they're detailed roughs where I add all the dialogue as well. I add all the perspective, and so it's beyond thumbnails. But I can do that. Full pencils like that, different story. And you look at some of those issues sometimes, though, you could tell some of the art, very simple roughs as well. Some of those guys. All right, guys. So yeah, if you want to do that, let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna knock it out now. But thanks, guys. Thanks for those who were getting those. I do appreciate it. I got a number of those out there, so very, very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna knock it out now. So thanks, guys. But you want to go to my store, bossfawson.com. There's a lot of stuff to get here. So let me just get these out. In the meantime, I just want to keep that as it is. I have these every so often. I'm going to have one soon again, so just be on the lookout. I announced them on... And also, just to let you guys know, also, I do have one more print left. Laura Loomer was supposed to get it, but she hasn't got it yet. But it's my Charlie Hebdo replica cover. I got one left. Actually. And it's... Charlie Hebdo cover, a replica cover with blood splattered over it to suggest the attack on it. That wasn't the actual cover, it's just my interpretation of it. Okay, I think I did that. But I want to show you guys something that I showed a little before, but I just want to give you an idea of what I was talking about. Okay, so that's out. Okay. Thanks for those who took part in that. Let me just show you this quick. This is the John Romita Sr. This is the comic strip, the Spider-Man comic strip that he pencil inked, mostly pencil inked. I think Frank Giacomo inked some of them, and you can tell the difference. But he took painstaking time to make them as well as he possibly could, and made them look as beautiful as he could. And look at this. I mean, look at this stuff. It's huge. But look at the art. Look how good it is. John Romita Sr. About 3 to 4 panels every day for a while. Jim Shooter ended up writing the plots that Stan Lee added the dialogue to after Romita did his magic on there for a while. So Jim Shooter did that. How cool is that? The great Jim Shooter. And they were fun, really, really fun stories. I mean, look at this. Look at the art. Look at Romita's Doom. Look at that. Coming to New York City. There's a little crack also about Arafat. Check this out. It's so good. And Arafat. Okay. Here's Spider-Man. On right there. Right there. Sorry, guys. This book is big, man. Anyway, so it's right here. Let me get that right there. That panel. He goes, just outside the publisher's window at the Daily Bugle. This is James Jonah Jameson. You're all washed up, webhead. Dr. Doom will finish you off. He goes, yeah, when Arafat gets bar mitzvahed. That's hilarious. Spider-Man mocking the whole idea of Yasser Arafat hating Jews. That's hilarious. I love it. And it's just, look at this, Walter Cronkite, the way Romita draws him. Spider-Man, that perfect design, the beautiful women in here. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Man, this is good stuff. Yeah, so I just want to show that because Romita was working on the comic strip, and I think Jack Kirby and John Buscema were making fun of Romita. Like, come on, man. He spent too much time on that. He was spending days on it and trying to make it impeccably perfect and all that, and where they were just, cranking him out. And all things considered, that's how great Kirby was. That he wasn't as slick as the other guys. He was his finished work wasn't as great, let's say, as Alex Toth or John Romita Sr. But my God, it's good and it's exciting, and it's to him to do that year after year after year. Sometimes 5 pages a day, sometimes 2 or 3 comics at once. The guy who came closest years later was John Byrne, writing, penciling, and inking Fantastic Four, Alpha Flight simultaneously, doing X-Men, Avengers, Marvel Team Up, other ones, all in a month. I mean, it's crazy. And it was good. Incredible. So, okay, let me just go back here, guys. A few more. Thanks for chiming in, guys. I always appreciate this. Thank you so much. Let's see. Absolute Batman from No 4 already has a fill-in artist. Kirby would laugh. He absolutely would laugh. I just wanted to show that. The great John Romita Sr., who passed away last year, unfortunately. The great John Romita Sr. Yeah. One more thing quick, guys. If any of you have gotten this, or if you haven't gotten it, if you love comic book art, you got to get this. David Mazzucchelli, Batman Year One, written by Frank Miller, all-time classic, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. Absolutely gorgeous. Look how big this thing is. I mean, look at it. Excuse me. Look at this. I mean, it's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful art. You think about, he went from Daredevil Born Again, that all-time classic series with Frank Miller on Daredevil, to this. And if you look at the difference in the finished line work, very, very different. But man, you guys got to get this if you haven't. All right, guys, let me get back and chime in here a little. Porkon says Peter David's, I guess his middle initial is A. Is that what it is? Pad? I remember it being called Pad, but Pad's follow-up Maestro miniseries were good. That were follow-ups to Future Imperfect. Yeah, the Hulk, the different version of the Hulk, the Dictator Hulk, is that what it was? The balding Hulk with the white hair. Wing and Sticky says, I miss comics having long runs with consistent artists, or at least consistent looking artists. Yeah, right. It was pretty, yeah, sometimes like, what the hell? Who the hell is this? To fill in. It was like, what's a word? There's a word for that. Pad's last comic was Symbiote Spider-Man 2009. I liked Spider-Man 2009 with Rick Leonardi and Peter David. That was great. Rick Leonardi and Al Williamson, I mean, kicking ass on that art. So fluid, so really perfect for Spider-Man. You know, Leonardi, when it comes to the anatomy, the way he made him go across a page, it's awesome. Yeah, the consistency, and that's a thing. You know, it was a matter of self-respect, honor. I think that some of these artists wanted to keep it going. I could see if they had a fill-in writer and artist for something completely off the grid. I could see that. But when it comes to trying to continue the same story, even now, Jeff Purves, Peter David writing The Death of a Hulk, I think it was The Death of a Hulk, and Dale Keown comes in part 4. But that's the difference is that Dale Keown was so much of a better artist than what do you call it? Than Jeff Probst, especially for the Hulk. I mean, so that for me that was a welcome change of art, a welcome change. So that does happen also, but usually it's not as good an artist who fills in, usually. But then there was something going on with the X-Men. They kept changing artists here and there, and out of nowhere, it was unsolicited. John Romita Jr. came back and did a Bishop focused X-Men comic, Uncanny X-Men 287. I don't know how I remember that, but I think I remember that 287. 287. Good stuff, man. It was Scott Williams inked some of it. It was interesting to see John Romita Jr. being inked by Scott Williams and some other artists, and it was really just out of nowhere. John Romita Jr. just filled in on an X-Men comic, Uncanny X-Men, like years after he did his first run. It was great. That was a welcome change. But again, you want that consistent factor. Even if it's an artist that's not as good as someone else, you still want the consistency. One example, Avengers vs. X-Men, right? Mark Silvestri starts it off 3 issues, and then Paul Pollard? Something Pollard. I forgot his name. It's Kevin Pollard. He does a 4th issue. It's like, what the hell? It's completely different. It knocked off the whole thing. Whatever happens, I don't know. But Mark Silvestri was always good. I mean, he was always exciting, always very natural, like a really good artist. Those X-Men issues were really good. I mean, he was so unique, very cartoony, very exciting, very natural, very natural. Mike TV Dub says, LOL, Bleeding Cool is so bad. Yeah, Ethan squabbles with them all the time. Yeah, they, Rich Johnston reviewed issue 1 of Pigman. He said in there that he was going to trash it until he realized it was good. He didn't like that it was good, but he did acknowledge that it was good, which was nice. And then issue 3 of Pigman, I think I sent it to him, or I sent him and another reviewers. There was a time where people were willing to review at least, and he didn't name me. He says, yeah, it's a great piece of art and all that, but ideologically, clearly he had a problem with it. So I made a drawing of Pigman as Frank Miller's Dark Knight from issue 2, Dark Knight Returns, where he's hunched over and bloody and bruised and battered and ripped. And I made Pigman like that, and I said, The Dark Pig Returns, by the artist who must not be named, because he didn't name me, Rich Johnson. And then also when Castro died, I made a drawing of Castro in all red, and I called him a piece of shit and this and that. And they said also, Vosh Fawson is trying to appeal to whatever. I said, no, the guy's a piece of shit. What do you mean appeal? I said, you like him. I don't. Anyway, those guys are sleazy as fuck. Jody, how's it going, Jody? Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Jody. David says, to everyone here, we need to support the artist, buy his work. Thank you, David. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Flady one said, would love to grab these, still recovering from this week's art auction. I hear you, man. And I do appreciate you getting some of my work also. I think last auction. Appreciate it, Flady. Thank you so much. I sent them out. I'm not sure if it was you. It was, I think, It was you, wasn't it? I think you ordered the table for one, the cover. I think it was you. If it was, let me know. I shipped it out. I think I must have packed it up that same night and shipped it out next day. So you should be getting it soon. If it was you, thanks, Flady. Appreciate that. I have another version of if you're the one who got it, and I think you are. I think you are, Flady. Might be mistaken, but I think you are. I have a like a different version. It's a black where the other one was white in the background. It was a black background with white. It was black in the windows, a little different. So I have that as well, and I have a few other things as well. So maybe next time, if you're interested, you can have that, or at least consider it to keep it with it. Hida, sorry, Art. I always think of Spider-Man 2009 when someone brings up Peter David. Yeah, that was good. That was a legitimate, like, how can you call it? Legacy character in the really interesting way, throwing it far into the future at the time that it came out at least, and make it completely different suit, different guy. That was legitimate. That was good. It's like, okay, that's cool. Porkut says, well, what has happened with Pope Francis? John Paul II was good, but this guy is a fool. He is, and he's also horrific on Islam. He's terrible. He's like an Islam bitch. He's in my book, Islam Bitches. It's my book on Islamophiles. He's in there. Poor cunt, Gary Frank's art turned on supreme power. So you're saying that his art turned from that clean, nice look to rougher? I think that you might be right. And Supreme Power, wasn't it by J. Michael Straczynski? Was that his story? Thanks, Michelle. You have a good night as well. Fritzy Schnitzel says, Francis is a major disappointment. He says, Francis promotes radical heretic LGBT activists and demotes traditionalists within the church. He's a progressive globalist. He is. He's leftist. I mean, he's a communist. He's a communist pope. It's like, what the hell? Flayed One says, I feel he was installed as part of the plan to force Benedict out, but it's just my view. I have no real facts to support it. He's not even speaking out against Pakistan, who are burning Christians alive and to being falsely accused of slighting Muhammad. Flayed One, you're laughing at something. I'm not sure. Maybe you thought that it was the original art. I'm not sure. It might be about the with Spider-Man taking a crack at Yasser Arafat. If so, I mean, I loved it. Pope Wingy says Pope Francis makes a great case for converting to orthodoxy. LOL. Mike TV Dub says Stan Lee must have added that line. Yeah, for sure. Because again, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jim Shooter offered, because I think Stan Lee was a little busy. So he goes, "How about if I write the plot and you just add the dialogue after the fact?" And I think Stan Lee was cool with that. It's a great line. Based Jeremy Senior Spider Porkhunt says, yeah, it's a lot. I love it. Absolutely love it. So good. So good. Beautiful art. It's just stunning. Travis Parrick says Jim Shooter doesn't get enough credit. Absolutely right. I feel that Chris Claremont, John Byrne wouldn't have had the success without him. I don't think so either. I think he pushed those guys to be better than they were, and they were good. From Walt Simonson, Frank Miller, John Byrne, all these guys, Chris Claremont, from the artists, John Ray Jr., and, pushing them to be just better. And story. That was his thing. And people sometimes criticize, well, he was a cookie cutter story, with a grid on Valiant and Defiant. Hey, man, those were legitimate. That was the only time you saw, I think, at that era, a real threat to the mainstream. They put a nice dent into sales, into Marvel's and DC sales for a time. They did, at least for a year. Good quality stuff. Great storytelling, great stories, great characters. Exo Man of War, you got, that was really good. The, what's his name? Archer and Armstrong. Magnus, a robot fighter, Solar, so it's good stuff. And it was really well done. Jim Shooter was a great editor, and no one has been able to match that quality, that consistency. They were running on all cylinders. They were kicking ass. They were doing interesting stuff also. The epic line. It's great. Art Art says that's awesome. I'm looking forward to the collection of the original comic strips for the Phantom. The Phantom. Are they putting that together? Um, Porkin says agree. I feel his biggest failure though was undoing Jean Grey's sacrifice. You're talking about you're talking about Jim Shooter. I think Jim Shooter, if I'm not mistaken, reading the special edition, he's the one who said that she had to die. You know, they wanted to make her live. He, as soon as they had her, take out that entire planet, billions of aliens, he felt you couldn't do that. Fleety One, yeah, about the comic, yeah, it's huge. Both of them. I mean, I got these art-sized books. I got the Ditko is amazing, which is fantastic. I got the Sin City, the original one, The Hard Goodbye. I got the Dark Knight Returns, the Amazing Spider-Man comic strip, Daredevil Born Again, Dave Mazzucchelli, Batman Year One. I have Daniel Clowes, original art. And then I have a number of things. Bravo for Adventure, Alex Toth. And then I got the oversized hardcover absolute editions of Dark Knight, Batman Year One, Killing Joke, All-Star Superman, Absolute Watchmen, Ditko Unleashed. I got these all these hardcovers. The World of Steve Ditko's great stuff, man. I have the Omnibus Amazing Spider-Man, the first one with all the issues of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And then I have all the issues from Roger Stern and John Romita Jr., which to me are the two back-to-back best runs. The first, the best, is a Ditko and Stan Lee. Best Spider-Man ever, period. And then the Roger Stern and John Romita Jr. is second to that in terms of quality. And John Romita Jr. did a mean Spider-Man. I mean, he took his fellas, a perfected version of Ditko's brilliant design and just pushed it a little further, stylized it a little more, gave him big feet, a little more like a leaner muscles, like a more of a Spider-Man, like a Bruce Lee type thing, but yeah, muscular, but still he was lean. A little thinner than his father's version, a little more tightly muscled, and also the eyes were a little more stylized. It's awesome. Great stuff. Egon the Dragon Cox, I got it after seeing your video on it. Worth every penny. Absolutely. I'm glad you got that. It's just, I don't know. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look through every page of it. I'm going to do some kind of look over. And again, when it comes to the art books, I don't know. I can say stuff, but the art truly speaks for itself. I can just turn the pages and just show it. And, sure, I'll have some natural commentary, but man, it's so good. Got to be like $500 for that. Fleety, are you talking about the books? They do get expensive, these books. Once they're out of print, we're talking, there's some Dave Stevens books that I've been wanting to get. I have the Rocketeer, the extra special edition hardcover. It's gorgeous. The art books, I mean, $1,000, $800, $900, like, wow. It's worth it. It's great, but man. Porcut says Rick Leone was good fill-in artist and Mark Silvestri on yeah, when it was bi-weekly, I remember it was back and forth actually for a while. Mark Silvestri and Rick Leonardi, and it happened to be that it's so funny. Some artists always miss each other. Like Terry Austin never inked an issue drawn by John Romita Jr. He inked some covers drawn by him, but never an issue. So when he inked Rick Leonardi in that X-Men run, he never inked Mark Silvestri, which I would have loved to have seen him ink Mark Silvestri. It's a different look, a different quality, Mark Silvestri is a little looser, a little more like a sketchy artist. And while Terry Austin at first was a pretty slick artist and the guy was always great, but he became a little more choppy later on. So I think that would have worked well with Mark Silvestri. Never got to see it though. But the covers that he inked of John Romita Jr. were great. They were great. Paul said, "What's up, brother? First live stream I've seen you on since." Okay, Paul, how's it going, Paul? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. I hope all is well, Paul. We'll chat. Mama Kath 1966 said, "Hello, everyone. Hello, Mama Kath." Porkun says, "Severin inked Dale." Yes. I think it was Marie Severin. That's what Dale Keown said on the New Year's live stream. It's Marie. I thought it was Mary Severin, but She inked him, and it was good. Severin inked Dale to look Purvis-like for the issue, so it wasn't jarring. But it was still so much better. Purvis. What a name, Purvis. But you knew you got a guy here who's like, okay, this guy's, he's channeling Byrne to some extent, you know? The way he drew the Hulk, the way he drew the anatomy, the way he drew the face, the cheekbones, and the art, and the people. And it was just, I mean, he came right out of the gate strong. You realize, oh shit, this guy's gonna be great. And he was great. And then I think Mark Farmer was inking him a little clean, for my taste, a little too clean for Dale. You know, Dale's inks on himself are better, just rougher, better. Porkon says, yeah, Uncanny X-Men 287 was beautiful by Jeremy Jr. It was. And again, it was unsolicited. They had listed another artist, Will Spertasio or someone I think they listed. So I went to get it, and I opened it up. I'm like, holy shit. And it was a Will Spertasio cover. And I think he was listed for it, but something happened. And I was like, wow, it was so good to see an older Romita removed from X-Men for a number of years at that point, after his Daredevil run, I believe. It was after his Daredevil run. And he started drawing Uncanny X-Men again, not long after, for a handful of issues. I think it was like 10, 12 issues, I believe. Keith Pollard, thanks. RBM Entertainment says, the libs reading the Quran was a craze on TikTok, so maybe that's why you've never seen the gay craze. Yeah, I don't know TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. I never had an account on TikTok. I don't watch it. I don't care. If it was something great on there, I think I would have, been on there. Nothing. It was Keith Pollard. That's his name. I used a different name, but I knew the name was Pollard. But Pollard. Keith Pollard. It was jarring like the final issue. Yes. So the Punisher Limited. Yes, the final issue. What was his name? Because Mike Zeck starts really strong. He puts everything he has, right? All the detail, all the lighting and shadow and everything. And by the 3 or 4 issues, you could tell it's loosening up a little too much. And then it was another artist. I think John Beatty still inked it, but some other artist, Mark something, I believe. Same thing with Secret Wars. He started really strong, and then Bob Layton had to fill in for issue 4 and 5, I believe, or 5 and 6. And then, so many inkers in the last issue. Art Adams inked some stuff, inked some pages, and you could tell. It's like, oh my God, that's Art Adams' art. That's full-blown Art Adams. It's not even, he buried Mike Zeck's pencils, but it's great. It's great stuff. You could tell different inkers, a lot of different inkers on that final one. Porkon says, if you had the opportunity to do a title at Marvel DC, what characters would you have preferred? Spider-Man first, the Spider-Man first, Daredevil, Captain America, Batman, Superman, The Question, would love to do that. I heard that they had one recently, The Question. It was not that good, man. It was just, I think it was what's his name, that hack, what's his name? Tom King. I think he did that. What an asshole. And he had Frank Miller in there, Steve Ditko in there. I don't know. The art was pretty good. It's tough to sit through his shit stories, Tom King. It really is. It's not just a modern thing. It's not fashionable to do it. You read it and it sucks. Nothing says, wow, I'm compelled to read this. It just doesn't. But yes, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America, Hulk I would love to do just as if it's a continuation, as if it's issue 7 of the original Hulk series. I would love to do that. If I get a chance, let's just say it won't happen, but let's just say that Marvel said, okay, what do you want to do? Anything you want. I said, anything you want? Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 7. Okay? Let me do it as if it's a continuation of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko, because Steve Ditko inked issue 2 over Jack Kirby's pencils, and he pencil inked issue 6. But I want that Hulk from issue 4 or 5 that Kirby perfected. It became the classic, to me, Hulk, with a long upper lip, short nose, big forehead, small chin, pissed off. The hair like almost bald on the sides. He was bulky. He wasn't like a bodybuilder. Love it. Okay, Flady, yes, that's the one. Thank you, Flady. Appreciate it. I know someone else was doing a little bidding war with you, and you were determined to get it. So thank you so much. I I really appreciate it. I know you got I believe you got the Star Wars ones as well, so thank you so much, man. And this one, yeah, I couldn't get the old ones out sooner, earlier for the early auction, but this one it's out, and I hope you get it soon. Thank you so much. John says, "Hello, Miss Foston. Hope you are having a great night. Having a great night. Thanks for being here, John. Thanks everyone else. Always appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll keep my eyes open for it. Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely different. Well, it just looks different. It's almost the same idea, where he's looking out the window, but it's all black, and the letters are very different. I will say that." Fritzy Schnitzel says, "Speaking of Castro, have you ever heard the song 'One by Suicide'? Great anti-communist song from the punk synthwave era." No, I haven't. Okay, Randall, yes. Flatey One got the cover, and I got the Pigman, absolutely. And I said that as well. I must have packed it up that night as well, Randall. So you'll be getting it shortly. Thanks, guys. Always appreciate it. I would put out my pages, but I'm not precious about them, as I've noted. But I don't know if I can sell them for less than $350 or more. I just don't think so. And I'm not trying to set up the stage here, guys. You got to get it for that. No, I just won't even present it. But if anyone's interested, if anyone's listening here on these auctions, if I do put up my pages, I got some good ones, and I like selling for more than the regular drawings and then the single drawings, like the cover that I did, the Pigman single drawing. Pages take a lot more time. It's a lot more effort, a lot more in there, and it should be more expensive. So, but yeah, we'll see. Next one that happens. I think Ethan was supposed to do another one the other night, but it didn't come through. Maybe next time. I don't know when, but I think he does it every few months, which is always cool. Porkon says Spider-Man 2009's origin was like the Cronenberg's Fly. I think so, yeah. That was good. That was a very good horror movie. Really well done. Man, I owned that one. It was very, very effective. Porkon says shooters rule every comic is someone's first. Right. I mean, I understand that as well. And if you got to do it, you better be clever about it to put it in there seamlessly. You can't bash people over the head with it on the first page. Hey, this comic, But you have to at least establish something about the character and what he does and why he does it in there somehow. And be creative about it, Fritzy Schnitzel says, Shooter doesn't get enough credit for turning Daredevil into a street-level crime noir book. I think it was Shooter and Roger Stern who started DD in that direction before Miller's great run. I think you're right, because Shooter was writing it for a bit as well. I remember the Bullseye issue that he did where it was televised, and they brought that up in the issue that Frank Miller did with Roger McKenzie. They had images of it. I think issue 191, they referenced it as well. When Chucky was watching it on the TV screen. That boy who thought he was Daredevil. Yeah, there was something about... and then, Miller just ran with it. I mean, that was his natural home. He was trying to do crime comics prior to getting into the mainstream. You saw them. They were pretty badly drawn, but you saw that there was an early version of Sin City in him, years before it came out, at least 12, 13 years at least. Great stuff, man. That Daredevil looks great. Yes, Porkon, exactly. Shooter made them kill Jean, yes, but he later greenlit Busiek, is how you pronounce it? I did to bring him back. That was his only real mistake while editor-in-chief. Was that with Louise Simonson, Jackson Goose for X Factor? Is that what you're talking about? When it became with the Avengers, with the Cocoon, and then John Byrne. I forgot what it was. 280, could have been 287 as well, like the 286, I think. Finesse 4 286, where Jean Grey came back and Terry Austin inked it, and it was, arguably Byrne's best drawn Finesse 4 issue. It was so good. And with Austin's inks, wow. It was a return to that classic run of X-Men that they did. Yeah, okay. I think that was it. But I think it was Louise Simonson for X Factor, I believe. At least, it was Roger Stern started with the Avengers, went to the FNS4, and then went to X Factor. Fritzy Schnitzel, Porkon writes of Fritzy Schnitzel, Shea is praised as a revolutionary, but he killed patients that were not his ideology, despite having taken the Hippocratic Oath as a medical doctor. Well, he's a piece of shit, Shea. Piece of Shea, I call him. Portman says it was Roger McKenzie, not Stern. Right. Roger McKenzie was writing Daredevil. Jim Shooter was as well. Al Nixon, Brush with Passion. Yes, Brush with Passion. That's the man. It's out of my reach right now. I'd love to get it. Would love to get it, but we'll see. We will see Al. It looks beautiful. I think it's the first time I saw him. At least I saw a little preview of it. His Spider-Man was cool looking too. Passion, Brush with Passion, right? Randall says bringing Jean back could have worked if they had made all the OP just the Phoenix Force and it being gone completely. Too many cosmic threat heroes. Yeah. Okay, Fleddy. Yeah. Seeing the giant Batman Year One going for 200 to 300. Yeah. Once it goes out, it goes out. And this one was late. It was supposed to come out August 13th. I remember I was locked into that date. I didn't get it till I think September or something. It was not even available on Amazon for like weeks. It even told you you'll get it within a few weeks. That's a few weeks. No comic shop I called locally had it, ordered it. Some said they ordered it. I go there, nothing there. I don't know what the hell that's about. I mean, this is an all-time classic. I don't know. But I get it. It should be that much. It should be, Pork Hunt says, did you know Wills Portacio? Now, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Sorry, guys. Portacio, I don't know. Wills Portacio is how I say it. Completed that Bishop story in X-Men Legends 2 years ago or so. I did not know. That. Pork says to Randall, or reveal Madeline as the original Jean, and the reason she ends up in limbo is because the Jean fished out of Jamaica Bay is a space phantom. Could have been a lot of... Pork says you would crush on the question. I would love to do the question. I'd love to do Steve Ditko's question, not Peter, not Daniel Neal's question. The hippie mystic, no. With the mullet, absolutely not. Pork Hunt, Incredible Hulk 1 to 6 are my grills. Look, man, that's the Hulk. He's nasty. He's brutal. He's a brute. He doesn't like people. He tolerates Rick Jones. It's so fun. He goes through so many things in that first 6 issues, and then it turns, I think, what was it? Journey to Mystery or Tales of Suspense? It went from there to there, where they had short comics that Steve Ditko drew, and it started to look more human as it went. I didn't like that. He started to look more like a bigger Bruce Banner. It's like, why? He had the longer nose, less of a ape-looking guy. Not that good. Art says, don't know why they pushed Tom King and everything as if he was the new Jeff Jones. He's not on the level. He's not on the level at all. And Jeff Jones has written some good stuff, legitimately good stuff. Not too crazy about Doomsday Clock, I gotta say. Just not. I was like, all right, what are you doing here? Porkman says Kirby started Hulk off looking like Marlon Brando. That's funny. It was very different. By the 3rd or 4th issue, he was completely different. But yeah, he looked different. Let's just say he looked more human in that first issue, and as it progressed, he got less human, which was good. Jeff Jones should be a DC editor chief. Yeah, it couldn't hurt. I mean, better than Jim Lee and what's going on there. It's terrible. Travis says, when will your book be on FMC? I'm setting it up on FMC. I just want to get the covers ready. I want to get them really good before I put it on there, and we will see. Fleety One says, yeah, I think Ethan tries to get them the auctions in every 3 to 4 months. Yeah, exactly. A few times a year, which I really appreciate. Always got some art on the side that, I think people might be interested in. So, Porkin says Jean was returned in Stern's Avengers and Burns Fantastic Four. Yeah, based on Busick's idea, if that's how you pronounce it, Busick. Fleety One, how long does it take for you to do those larger pieces like that Anakin piece I got on canvas board? I'm not an artist, so I have no idea how long it takes to do large pieces like that. I can't. I mean, that was so long ago. That was That was between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, because Anakin Skywalker had not been cast at that point yet. I projected what he could look like and might look like, based on the kid, based on what I gathered from George Lucas, maybe saying some certain things. Hours of just designing it, and then the paint itself. I'm not a painter. I painted when I was a kid. I painted oil, and then I painted gouache with that, and I did 3 paintings, I think, at that time. Hours for sure. And again, I sat for hours and did it. I didn't let it sit and tweak it out. No, I did it within days. Those 2 pieces for sure. I just did it for days and hours. I can't say how long, but it's simple. It was a simple painting, but it was the design really. That's what it was really, that I wanted to make it as dramatic as I could, and the actual execution was relatively easy at that point. But once I got the design down, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, hours for both, a few hours each, probably at least. Not much longer. I don't overwork my stuff. I try to keep it simple. I'm telling a story. I mean, even in that, I was telling a story. So I don't try to overwork it. I try to keep it pretty simple and clear what's happening. Detail when necessary, absolutely. Background, buildings, you can't skimp on that, and you shouldn't. Details of costumes, of clothing, no, you don't want to mess with that. Cars. But yeah, a number of hours each. If I were to say everything, maybe 5 hours each, probably, for everything. From conception to laying it out, getting it ready in pencil first. I laid it down in pencil first, and then and it's so funny. I'm not a painter, and I think they were good, and I like the way they came out. But I didn't continue that. I was writing and drawing. I was going to art school. I was going School of Visual Arts. I took 1 summer class in Joe Kubert's school, 1 summer class, and what I learned from that, the main thing I learned from that is a brush is a valuable thing. A brush to ink is a very valuable thing. This is a Series 7. I don't have my glass. I can't even see, but it's a number 2. And it's beautiful. I did all of Table for One with this. Nearly every single line. I think I did some of the panels with a pen, and then for Pigman, I ink the Pigman parts with a brush, and I ink the Killian parts with the quote-unquote real world parts with a pen. Slightly different, and just to distinguish it a little between the two. And then my latest book that I'm adapting right now, pen, ink, mixed all over. All different. Let me get through a few more of these guys, and then I do got to go. But thanks for being here. Always appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It's an hour and a half. Incredible. Incredible how fast it goes. Just talking about comics, and very, very cool. Art says DC screwed up majorly losing Johns. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. They blew it. Because he was a consistently good writer on there. And taking Gary Frank with him. What a fuck up also. Man, that guy's great. Porkun says when Kirby had Rick able to control Hulk, and that one issue had a Fawcett Captain Marvel vibe. Yeah, right. It was so good. I love it. I can reread those. And again, I did a little video the old day. If you haven't seen it, Porkun, check it out. It's a Hulk video, a Kirby Hulk video. I go through the first 6 issues, and then I go through Avengers 1 and 2, and also 1.5 with Roger Stern and Bruce Timm, as if it took place between issue 1 and 2. It's great with Doctor Doom. But I was focused on the Hulk in that. And also Fantastic Four number 11, I believe, where the Hulk gets started. And it was all the same era of Hulk. That same look. And check it out. It's, I don't know, half hour, an hour, maybe longer, where I go down and I just focus on the Hulk and those issues and the differences and just what I found to be just, I don't know, appealing on just a visual level. Randall says, I just think, Hulk was until, Fleety One says, Hulk was tills to astonish Iron Man And Cap wore Tales of Suspense. Thanks, man. Tales to Astonish. Okay, Hulk was in Tales to Astonish. Iron Man and Cap were Tales of Suspense, right? I remember they had those guest things there, and they had shorter stories, sometimes two heroes in one. I think Ant-Man was also in one of them as well. It could have been Ant-Man and Hulk and sharing that Tales to Astonish, maybe. Randall says, I just think if they had dialed her back to her base power about Jean Grey, level could have worked. Phoenix Force became a cosmic power to pass around like VD, right? Pork says, you have to get one of the kings to do a cover for you. Look, man, I mean, as I said the old day, I'm lucky to be there. I don't want to... we'll see. We will see. We will see. Also, I think some, might find it to be associated with it might not be great for them. I'm thinking some of them at least. I don't know. We will see. Definitely, it's, we'll see. Porkhunt says, Phoenix was never meant to be a separate cosmic power. It was originally intended by Claremont to be the peak of Jean's abilities. Right. That got changed if that's for 286. Right. With the cocoon, completely different force that took on the persona of Jean Grey, but it wasn't her. Yeah. Right. But that's the only way I guess they could have brought her back. At least that's what they decided to. That they could bring her, Jean Grey is back. Porkhunt says, Phoenix should not be like Excalibur's sword. Big mistake, right? Thanks, Flady. Appreciate it. I'm glad you got them. Thank you. He says, I love those two pieces. I do too. I mean, it's funny. They could have gone on. I could have gone on and did other things. I don't know. And then I did also you could have got also the, what was it? The graphite one as well, which was like the Punisher Vader. Maybe you got that one too. I think so, but I'm not sure. Or someone else didn't, maybe. Reynolds says, what if so-and-so had the Phoenix Force is one thing, but they pass it around like a main storylines, yeah. Winsor Newton, yes. I believe it's Winsor Newton, yeah. Series 7 Winsor Newton, it must have been. Yes. Correct, Al. Correct. Series 7 Winsor Newton. Yep. I get them every few years, another one. And I got another one also, which works to fill in a little more space here. This is a thicker one. Could be a 5, maybe. It's a lot thicker. And it has a pencil on the back, which is pretty cool. It just has a backup. But this fills in a little more. The black area is easier to go. So there's nothing like a brush when it comes to inking. It really is. And again, I'm appreciating pens and all this stuff. And then it's so funny. I was precious about the brush, right? That's that, right? The brush. It's perfect. That's it. And then you got Alex Toth, whose finished work to me is the greatest finished work of anyone. The finished work, the way it looks. And he used felt tip markers that turned brown over the years. It's like he wasn't precious about anything like that. It was just whatever worked, and it happened to work. And there's something about the look of it that just... He did a question short story. The inking is impeccable. It's gorgeous. And there's some brush I can see, but clearly some pen and some markers and some felt tip markers. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yes, Winsor Newton, Al, thanks. Thanks for following up on that because I wasn't 100% sure. Wingus Dingus says, I've always been more of a dip pen guy since I always end up ruining my brushes, LOL. Yeah, I could never get into the dip pen. I tried it. I tried it because I think I wanted to be like Terry Austin, for a time when I was young. Because Terry Austin was the greatest. I mean, he made everyone look perfect. And it's so funny because he was, people are like, okay, what tool do you use? He goes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it didn't matter, he would tell us. Clearly it matters, At the same time, it doesn't matter really, because I inked my Winnie Muhammad cartoon, which I have a canvas up above my art table. And someone said, that looks like a Terry Austin type thing, ink around the hair around his hand. And it does actually. But that's with the brush. It's not with the dip pen. So Travis says, one last question. What is your take on Dave Sim and his book Cerebus? I tried to get into it. I couldn't really get into Cerebus. I don't know what it was. I tried to. I got one of those big collections. I lost interest in it. But I did send him Table of One, and he did write back this whole, pretty extensive advice and suggestions about my work. And I did realize, though, at one point when the woman walks in, it seems like he walked out. All of the words that he was saying more or less ended. I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. I did notice that. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry. I thought that was funny. But yeah, he took the time out, and because I was doing, I read his book on self-publishing, and it's, you rely on people, right? You rely on these experts and these great cartoonists to guide you a little, right? I get that. I get that book. I read it. I learn from it. I pick up some stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm reading this. I'm reading other books on how to self-publish and all this. And years later, he says, "Oh, I didn't mean that." Something like, "I didn't mean that." You wrote a pamphlet, a book about it. What do you mean you didn't mean it? It's nasty. You're deliberately, misleading people who are reliant on you. You've done this. I don't know. I thought that was nasty, but I did get his. Let me show you quick. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I did get Dave Sims' The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. And this is his most recent work. And it's a hell of a piece. It's interesting as hell. Visually stunning, just flat out stunning. And he drew, look at this, he drew Alex Raymond as if Alex Raymond drew it. I mean, the guy's incredible when it comes to ink lines. He drew artists, he drew, my God, some of the stuff in here is incredible. He drew Milton Caniff as if it's Milton Caniff drawing it. I mean, look at this. Impeccable. Incredible. The work involved. And he drew himself in the book also talking about, Alex Raymond. He's in the book. It's very strange. The book is strange, but it's very well done. It's look at this. Different schools of art, which he put Toth in one of them, Alex Toth. The Hal Foster School, right? He did this. Talking about all the artists who were influenced by Hal Foster, from Jeff Jones to Russ Heath to John Severin. And then he did also the Alex Raymond School. Look at this. All hand-drawn. Beautifully done. From Joe Shuster to Al Williamson, Frank Frazetta, Carmine Infantino. The Milton Caniff School, right? This is all Dave Sim. I mean, look at his... it looks like a Milton Caniff. Perfect. Will Eisner, Joe Kubert. Those are from the Caniff School. Then he says this. He goes... the Milton Caniff School, and then he goes from there to Roy Crane. This is his drawings. This is Dave Sims. Alex Toth. Look at this. It looks like an Alex Toth drawing. Neil Adams. Jack Kirby. Look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. Incredible. So it's a very interesting book about the death of Strange Death of Alex Raymond, who died in a car accident, a terrible accident. He was in a car, I think, with another cartoonist who I think ended up living. He put on the gas instead of the brakes. That's the idea, at least. So, incredible tour de force of the book. I mean, the guy wrote penciled ink lettered. It says here, okay, Dave Sim and Carson Grubau. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, and I don't know exactly who did what here because it doesn't say exactly. Written by Dave Sim and Carson Grubau, drawn by Dave Sim and Carson Grubau. Did the guy ink? I don't think. No, Dave Sim, as far as I know, he inked. I mean, look at his work. He's channeling these incredible comic artists and comic strip artists, and it looks just like them. I mean, it's great mimicry. Just great. And I haven't finished it, but I've been looking at it. It's a It's a lot going on here. A lot going on. About the art and about the death itself. Living the Lion presents. I mean, look at the cover even. It's pretty wild. The colors, the difference. Very unique book. It's awesome. I'll definitely take a final look at that. And okay, guys. Thanks, Pork Hunt. You said great Hulk video. I really enjoyed doing that. Check it out. And again, if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Flady, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. You did. Okay, good. Very, very cool. Because that was also, I did that right about that time as well. I did that Punisher Daredevil right about the time that I painted those Anakin drawings. Very, very cool. It was in the same spirit, the same, more of a representational look, less stylized, I think. Not realistic per se. Al, okay, I'm inking right now as I listen. Yeah, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, Winsor Newton is my favorite brush. Yeah, it's so good. This brush was the one that Eisner recommended us using class. Love Cerebus and Dave, great guy. You went. Did you go to the School of Visual Arts and Eisner was teaching there? Because I missed him. I missed him for a very short window, and I regret it. And also, I missed David Maskelly, who was teaching there for a bit at the School of Visual Arts, but then also was teaching at the Rhode Island School of Design. I think that's his main place, but he did teach at SVA, and I was trying to find it. And I was like, what the hell, man? I wanted to get, these legends. I wanted to get these all-time greats. The ones I have were, look, I made the most of it. Howard Cruz, out of that whole crew, was the best teacher, hands down. He's a leftist, homosexual, and whatever else he is, but what a hell of a teacher. I didn't even know that stuff when I was there. He was just, I think he showed Stuck Rubber Baby there, and I realized, oh, okay, that's where he's coming from. But he was a hell of a teacher, and he demanded us. He was very demanding in a quiet way. He had us write pencil, ink, and letter, 6-page story for that semester. And that's where I laid down my first idea of Table for One, my first graphic novel. And it pushed me to do a little more than I was willing to do at that time. That's awesome. He liked it. He thought it was good. And I was like, okay. And it was a complete scene that ended up being in my graphic novel. And I don't know where the hell it is. I can't find it. A part of me is like, God damn it, I should have scanned it. I just wanted to contrast it, the difference, just to see it. It's pretty cool. Marcus Kelligrew says, Hail, Marcus. Just finished drawing Judge Dredd on the studio. Excellent. Awesome. I've never drawn Judge Dredd. I've seen some of the comics, and I've seen the movie, the one that was a better version, the most recent one at least. Flady one says Gary Barton's new art book is great in my opinion. Really love his pinup work. Okay, his new art book, because I got Gary's how to ink books. I mean, I got both of those, and if not three of those, great. I knew that the brush was good, and then Gary just confirmed it, and it was so good seeing that book, the value of that book, the great value. First of all, besides all his his great teaching in there, all the lessons he had, and his great inks, you have Terry Austin coming in there, inking the same thing that he inked, to see the differences, a lot of different inkers, and it's beautiful to see, because it's like, wow, it's all the same penciler, it's Steve Root's pencils, right, from Nexus, and all these different inkers coming in there and adding stuff, taking away stuff, making it their own, but still retaining the high quality of Steve Root's pencils. It was awesome. Porcon says Sim started applying that style in Glamour Puss. Yeah, Glamour Puss, I do remember that. Oh wow, so cool, Marcus. It was, yup, I was in Eisner's class with Al Nixon. That is so, wow. I met Eisner once. It was right about the time I was nominated. Just shook his hand, spoke to him for like 2 minutes. I was with Batten Lash, who had known him. It was so cool. Al, yeah. I went to SVA. Al went to SVA, School of Visual Arts. Eisner was my teacher for 3 years. Wow, I think that will left SVA in 1992. I miss him. I got there a few years later. Wow. Damn. Yeah, because I knew he had taught there, so I wanted to get him, and I wanted to get Mez Kelly. That was a big deal. It was like, damn, if I can get those two, I mean, I could learn so much. But again, I mean, I did what I could. I mean, I got all these books, got all their books. I got all the Eisner books on comics and sequential art, all the other ones as well, and even the one that came out last, the anatomy book. I think it was anatomy. Cool. So Al and Marcus are saying hi to each other. That's so cool. Very cool. Pork on Bosch on Judge Red would also crush, given its biting satire. Hey, I would love to take get a look at it and just see what I can do in terms of just to draw it for myself. Yeah, Marcus Gary's. I got at least 2. I think he may have done 3 though, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very cool, guys. You take care. Always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me here. You have a great Saturday night, guys. You take care of yourselves. Be well. I was there for 4 or 5 years, I believe. Late 1990s, 2001 for sure. Because I was in a class. It was an inking class, right? I went there for an inking class for a particular teacher that they had. Actual comic book inker. Went to the school, went to the class that night. It was September 10th, 2001. It rained like hell. I remember that. I went there, and it was a female teacher. All of a sudden, it was supposed to be male. Not that I'm against a female teacher if she's great, but she was a children's book artist who didn't really ink, who didn't do like ink work. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And she had us do some stuff. I was like, I'm not crazy about it. Next day, the attack happened. And I didn't go back to that class. I canceled the class. I said, okay, are there any other things? So I did that. I did that for 4 or 5 years. I was going to Joe Kuber School at first. Because, again, I wanted to be a writer, a singer, a director, an actor. I went to acting class. I tried all these things. And then I asked myself, okay, what do you really want? What's the real deal here? Of course, comic books. My first love. That was it. So yeah, I went to over a number of years, about half a dozen classes over the years, and it wasn't full-time courses. It was just nighttime classes that I took while I was working as a waiter, doing that, and it was great. And Howard Post I had, Howard Cruz, Howard Post I think, yeah. And it's funny, he was talking about Toth and how he knew him, and he said it's funny because he thought that Roy Crane and Noel Sickles, I think, drew fingers like carrots, and therefore Toth did that as well sometimes. And I'm like, I chuckle because there's some truth to that. Even though Toth made beautiful hands, at times for the shorthand, like distant characters, you could tell they were a little choppy. Pretty funny looking. But yeah, I went there for a number of years, late 90s. But 2001 was the final time I was going there. And then from there, I was basically just studying on my own, and I was working on Table for One when it hit. I was working on Table for One when 9/11 hit. And that's why I asked myself, are you going to continue this, or are you going to respond to the atrocity? And I decided to continue, but I did have, if you recall, if anyone read it, I did have a 2-page spread letting people know that this is right after 9/11, and I wanted to get the gamut of comments from New Yorkers about what happened. So, yeah, late 90s, late 90s until 2001, that's what it was. I learned as much as I could, but of course I learned get 10,000 bad drawings out of you before you start doing good ones. There is truth in that. And I had these huge sheets of newsprint, these books, like thick books of newsprint. And I had it in my corner of my apartment at the time, just up to my waist or higher. And drawing ears for entire, just ears, noses, this, that, anatomy, trying to do as much as I possibly could. And just learning how to draw and get out of my system, almost get the bad stuff out. And then it started to turn to the point where I was like, okay, I'm I'm liking the way things are turning out now. At that point, I think I said I think I'm ready to draw this thing because I had written it for a while. I had many ideas for a while. It must have been, I don't know what it was, 98, 99 probably, when I had written it already, laid it down, and it was done by 2002. It was done by 2002. It was after 9/11, February, and I finished it by July. Written, penciled, inked, lettered, 81 pages of Table for One. I don't know if that's fast or anything. I know that I worked literally 18 hours a day. I mean, literally 18 hours a day to get it done. I know I did that. And I added pages and added stuff and edited and as I was going, but I was done and I carried the entire book. I shouldn't have done that. It was pretty heavy. I got to say, 81 pages of big 14 by 17 pages. It's a lot. And plus, it was like more than that because there was a few extra sheets here and there. And I brought that to the convention thinking I can get a shot at maybe getting some work. Having it as the ultimate portfolio, right? It's a storytelling book. I did everything. Written, pencil, ink, lettered, told whole story. You can understand it. And I got interest. I got Toth when he got back with that postcard, that first one. Incredible. Anyway, good night, Wally Puss. Good night, Fritzy Schnitzel. Good night, Mike, TV Dub. Appreciate it. Good night, RBM Entertainment. Wally Puss, you would be an instant star if you were cast as a main character of a popular movie. There's not a tiny doubt about that. That's funny, but you're already a real world star. That's very sweet of you to say. It's funny. I had this one line in my first book, and I took it out. It didn't quite work, and it might not even work right now, but I'll say it anyway. It's a little cringe, I guess you can call it. I don't even know if I should say it, but the character at one point says he goes, I wanted to be an actor when I was young, but I decided to be myself, and it has been the role of a lifetime. And there's some truth to that because I gotta say, my life has been interesting to say the least, and I wouldn't change anything, regardless. If it's been flipped over back and forth, I wouldn't change anything. But I did want to be an actor. I did go to acting school, and it wasn't quite what I wanted. I wanted to write. I wanted to tell stories. That's what my main thing was. Tell stories. I loved stories. Fell in love with them, and that was it. And so I can do that now. And I still, in a sense, act because every moment of my stories, I'm acting things out. I'm looking at myself. I'm taking reference photos of myself, and for the gestures and natural gestures. So I'm acting it out. I'm getting to do that to some extent. I remember even Robert McKee told writers, take acting classes. There's something about that. There's something. So I keep some of that in mind. So in a sense, I am acting still. Within my story. All my characters, and there's some. It's interesting to do that. And to use myself as a model for some things, but to stylize myself, sure. But thanks, Wiley. You guys take care. Good night, Wingus Dingus. Good night, Flady. Flady One, appreciate it. Travis, night. Good night, Marcus. John, I am very excited for what the future holds. Me too, John. This year is going to be particularly important for me and my work. I got a graphic novel that I'm getting done, 350 pages at least, besides the Pigman. And then I have 2 other stories in mind that I'm going to tackle, which are very different from Pigman and the story I'm doing right now. So you guys take care, be well. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the give and take. Always appreciate it. Good night, Lux. Thank you. Guys, take care, be well. Thank you. Until next time.